Guys, what is the most awkward thing a girl has ever said to you? I wear a spinal brace. This happened on Halloween. I like that you're wearing that. What? I like that you're wearing that. Do you know what it is? No, but I like that you're wearing it. Okay, thanks. Her boyfriend came over to my table after a while and apologized, saying she was drunk and thought it was somehow related to Nintendo. Omicrons, having a sonogram of the area between my balls and my thigh, they sent 60-year-old lady in there to do sonogram. It was clear that he had retired from somewhere, and won back to school so that she could be a sonogram tech and look at BBs all day. She was so mad she was going to have to sonogram my 25-year-old dude's balls. As soon as she walked in the room she had a scowl on her face, and when he opened my chart to see what was going on, she was immediately upset. He was trying to rub that petroleum induction jelly between my balls and thigh without actually touching or moving anything. Oh, I politely moved my cock out the way like any gentleman would and she got all flustered and houted don't touch it. As if I re-masturbating or somehow getting leisure out of the experience. I've never been so mad and embarrassed at same time. Age 13 or 14. My first GF and I were in my parents' hot tub and my very religious mother kept coming out to check on us like every 5 minutes. Being horny teenagers, I had my hand in between her thighs and slowly made my way in to finger her. I get my finger maybe 1 inch inside and she says, is that your penis? I was sitting next to her. Her, so Morsus 98, you normally sit in that chair for X class, right? Me, yeah. Her, okay. I was setting up this room for event, and we finished a little early, so I sat down in that chair and pretended to be you. Just looked around, seeing how you see things. Me, that's, nice. For the first time in all my years on Reddit, I finally have the best possible response for an Ask Reddit thread. During college I was invited to my friend's room to drink with her and her new roommate. After a few shots we started playing this game FU with some cards. The roommate kept hitting me with a fuck subliminary, so it was obvious what was about to transpire. My friend left her room and we immediately get down to business. After around 5 thrusts she goes, stop stop stop. I was worried and replied, what? I will remember this till the day I die. She replies, you're a Republican, right? Because I can't have sex with any liberals. I looked her straight in the eye and said, I fucking love Ronald Reagan. Edit, obligatory thanks for gold, kind stranger. Seriously though, I'm glad you all got a nice laugh. Merry Christmas, Reddit. Edit 2, for those of you asking about. The FU game, Google fuck you pyramid. One time in college I was standing in the elevator in my dorm and this girl just stares at my feet and says, you have really nice toes. I saw her in the elevator a couple weeks later and she says to me, hey, you're the guy with nice toes. Edit, yes, I knew she was hitting on me. No, she wasn't hot. Edit 2, my toes are regular toes, they have a little bit of hair on them too. Once, after a lonely and drunk night at the bar in which I went home alone, I made an OkCupid account. I made my profile picture one of my cuddling with a baby elephant, then passed the fuck out. I awoke to a raging hangover and a message in my inbox from a very large woman, who had written out a list of sexual things she wanted to do to me, including, but not limited to, sticking that elephant's nose up my ass like a muppet and blowing air out my mouth like a foghorn. I deleted the account. You're pretty alright for a black guy, it never gets old. At least they say black guy. I remember one of my buddy's dads saying to our friend, "Hey John, you're a pretty good guy for a NR. Must be that your daddy is white so you only got half it." Christ, that was awful. John wasn't the smartest guy, but to this day he has my favorite retort of all time. Well, Mr. Fake last name, you're pretty alright for a redneck, must be because your parents were only cousins and not siblings. Holy fuck, everyone was crying with laughter. She told me she was a virgin. Nothing weird yet. Told me she masturbated. All normal. Whipped out a 14 inches purple dildo that was big around as a peanut butter jar. I was impressed, honestly. She dumped me later because I refused to get her pregnant after 3 weeks of dating. On my first date with a girl I met online, she explained mid-dinner how once upon a time she was giving her boyfriend head the night after a party and could taste lady juice. She therefore deduced he was cheating on her and dumped him mid-blowjob. Somehow we still ended up having sex. Single male brain decision making baffles me sometimes. I still don't understand it. She was drunk. I was drunk. We just met. We flirted. We were on a friend's front porch, waiting for that friend to come back with food. We kept flirting, but neither one of us made a move. We were also getting hungrier and wondering what kind of food our friend would bring back. We hoped for pizza and salad from this trendy pizza place nearby. Somehow, the two desires, hunger and flirting, got crisscrossed in her head. She turned towards me, leaned close, gazed into my eyes, and in a seductive voice said, "If I was salad, how hard would you rape me?" I dated a woman for about a month. One day we are sitting on my couch making out. She says, "I am not attracted to you." I'm sorry. I ended up losing 125 pounds after that, but it still hurt like hell. 6 months into a relationship, I was told you're everything I've ever wanted in a partner and I love you, but I'm shallow and you're fat. Down 72 pounds in 6 months so far. Not so that person will love me, but so that I never have to hear those words again. Edit, certainly didn't expect this to get any attention. I'm actually female, a male said this to me. I know it's the opposite of what the thread asks, but it was relevant to the post I commented on. The person who said this is still my best friend and I thank him all the time for making me better. I cannot fault him for having personal preferences and I have long forgiven his lack of tact. Just yesterday, a girl leaned in to kiss me and as she leaned in for it, she said, "So how is Nan?" I just started laughing right in her face, I couldn't help it. Thankfully she laughed at it too. A couple of hours later, I leaned it to kiss her and in the huskiest voice I could manage said, "Nan is really great." While on a Tinder date, the girl asked me what her name was. My mind completely blanked. I managed to play it off as a joke for a few minutes and then check Tinder and remind myself of her name. I've never felt so uncomfortable in my life. Edit, typo. My father, who is a terrible person, did manage to give me one valid piece of advice in life. This is it. When you meet someone for the first time and they introduce themselves, while you're shaking their hand say it is nice to meet you Michelle. That way all the men will think you're alpha as fuck for calling them a woman's name and women will be awed by your complete disregard for their name. But seriously, just repeat their name as you meet them and it should help you a lot. I once had this girl legitimately say hubba hubba as we were getting down to it. I immediately laughed, she joined in, I took the piss out of her for about a week afterwards. Edit, sorry guys, I'm British, to take the piss out of someone means to mock them. This has sort of been a weird awakening about how weird British slang is. I'm at the movies with my girlfriend, standing out in the lobby. Another girl that I knew from years ago in school spots me from the distance and approaches us as she exclaims, "Oh my god, my name, is that you?" I respond, "Yep." "Hi, her name? Is that your girlfriend?" "Yep." You're still awkward. She then runs off to her movie and my girlfriend starts cracking up. Apparently she agreed. I was in the pool with my co-workers, lifeguard, and we were having chicken fights. One girl says to another girl, "Hey, get on Mr. Buzz's shoulders, he's tall." She responds, "Him." Ha 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 ha, and they played without me. Why she laughed, but I was very hurt. I had a woman tell me that I had pretty eyes. Then she said she wished she could cut them out and make them her own. I didn't know if she meant to put in her head somehow, or keep as souvenirs. She didn't sound like she was joking or anything. I smiled and kind of giggled and went on. This happened when I was 12. Edit, this is apparently more common than I thought and that's kind of scary. I had a similar situation in reverse. A girl I was flirting with in my film class eventually told my roommate first and then told me later that she had been masturbating to me during one of our weekly screenings. Caught me off guard to lead in with that, but we def hooked up soon after. Number? She recently lost a bunch of weight. She used to weigh over 300 pounds but now she's down to 240. She loves to go clubbing, all the guys tell her she's an amazing dancer and ask if she's a professional. She asked me how old I was, I'm 24, and when I told her she informed me I looked at least 30. Then she asked how old I thought she was, so I generously guessed she was 28. She replied, "Oh, how, no, hair. I'm older than that. Not gonna tell you how old I am but not quite 28 hair." She had to sit out the next couple songs because she was cramping really hard. She asked me to dance almost every song, even when she just didn't know the dance everyone was doing. At the end of the night I tried to leave quickly and she ran out after me to ask if I might ever want to go to a movie or something. I told her I'm generally pretty busy between working 2 jobs, I only have one. A girlfriend, I'm single, and freelance writing/editing in my spare time, I actually do this. I never saw her again. Edit, added the one about clubbing. Edit 2, as of April 8, 2016 she's back with a renewed interest in me. I was at a local dance studio, where I take lessons. Friday is a group lesson night and is always followed by a dance party. This particularly awkward woman, I'd never seen her before, came to the group lesson and when we were all introducing ourselves at the beginning she mispronounced her first name and then when she tried to say it again she just sort of cut herself off before finishing. She was super nervous. She stuck around after the lesson for the party and in between every song she gave me, a complete stranger, some more unnecessary information about herself. Over the course of the evening I learned she just got out of a super abusive relationship with her ex who lives across the state. He would beat her and force her to do things she didn't want to do. She moved across the state to live with her mom, and made sure to tell me the exact address, down to the apartment. I already bought your birthday present, so you can't break up with me until at least after your birthday. We'd been dating for 3 months, my birthday was still 2 months away, and I broke up with her a week later. Edit, found it. I was at Walmart with 3 of my soon-to-be roommates for college. We saw a cheap table, ones that are plastic that fold down, and because we are poor college kids, I mentioned that we should get it for our house. Out of nowhere, some girl turns the corner, and yelled, "I can be y'all's table." Still not 100% sure what it meant, but it sure sounded like she wanted an orgy. X was giving me a blowjob, and was deep-throating it. I don't know how well you can deep-throat a dick that doesn't touch the back of your throat. Well, she shoved as far as she could and said, "Look mom, no hands." She then proceeded to tell me a story of how she gave a guy a blowjob with a 12 inches penis and she shoved it all in and said, "Look mom, no hands." I dipped my dick in crazy and I can't escape the consequences. My ex-girlfriend. During sex, she would always push me away and tell me stop. Then she would continue to say, "What the fuck, don't stop, you are supposed to grab me, choke me and keep going. I want you to rape me," she says. I respond with, "But what if at some point you don't want me to rape you and I actually rape you? I am not taking that chance." I ended up getting drunk and choking her and really not letting her push me off as I was close to getting off. Then she got all upset cause she really wanted me to stop. I was like, "What the fuck, you make sex some confusing game of chess. Fuck off," and I left. Dropped of one of my ex-girlfriends, stuff at her apartment. Made sure I looked good, smelled good, outfit on point, jeans and t-shirt. Her roommate answered the door. Smiled, handed her the box. When I turned to leave she blurted out, "I lost my teddy bear and I need to nap, can I sleep with you?" Gave her the best 10 minutes of revenge sex my 23-year-old self could muster, and went home. I am very gay. I've always been really gay. When I was 15 my entire group of friends were girls. One of them had a friend named Melissa who I don't remember ever speaking to directly or having a private conversation with. I don't think we ever had a class together or we were ever alone together in the same room. 6 years later I met a girl from a different school who knew Melissa. I had completely forgotten who she was, but this girl asked me if I knew her and showed me a picture of her on Facebook. I said, "Yeah, I guess I remember her." And the girl said, "You don't remember her at all? Because she told me that you guys dated." Melissa, what the fuck? I once dated a girl with kids for about a year. She was crazy as hell, but I overlooked a lot because the sex was fucking amazing. When I went to break everything off with her, the first thing out of her mouth was, "If I got rid of the kids, do you think we could work things out?" Edit, spelling. A bit late, but anyway. I slept with a girl and after I pulled out, I was fairly pissed, so didn't wrap up, and explained to her I didn't want to risk getting her pregnant. She said, and I quote, "Oh, don't worry, I was raped a few weeks ago so I can't get pregnant anyway." I had no idea what to say. In an elevator with my friend, we're both college dudes, and on our way to the 4th floor, the elevator opens on the 2nd floor and 3 girls get in. One of them says, "Oh boy, alone with 3 hot girls with nowhere to go." Bet this is a dream come true for you guys. Classic thirsty freshman girls. I was dating a girl for a few weeks. At first she asked if I was comfortable with her in the room while I was peeing. Of course I didn't care. Then she wanted to actually watch me pee and stare at me to see how I reacted, NBD. A few weeks after that she said she wanted to be in the bathroom while I shit. We were only dating for a little over a month at this point. Obligatory this'll get buried. Was at a bar with my guitar-playing friend, sitting at the end of the bar away from the stage, watching a different band play. Bartender brings me a double shot of tequila, with the fixings. He leans over the bar, and says, "This is from the lady at the end of the bar. She's nice looking." I begin the ritual, and just as I'm raising the glass to her in salute, she stands on the rungs of her chair, leans over the bar, and shouts at the bartender. You know how sometimes during a live show, there's a moment in the music where there's a beat of silence. The music's too loud for conversation, so when the music stops, you can hear a pin drop, even in a good-sized venue. So there she is, standing up, this good-looking girl, shouting in the voice intended to carry over the band, in that moment of dead silence. Not him, the cute guy next to him. I was at a bar, seated, when this semi-cute hipster girl walks up and takes a seat on my lap, puts her arms around my neck, and asks, "Are you Jewish?" No. Oh, because I like your nose. I have kind of a big honker, but this wasn't the only time it's drawn attention. A drunken older woman once told me I had such a cute nose that she wanted to suck on it. Two stories. Met her that night at a bar, and right after we start kissing for the first time she pulls out and asks, "So, are we dating now?" Friend told me about this one. He had been dating this girl for some time and they were about to hook up for the first time. During foreplay, she looks at him dead in the eyes and brags, "I love how no matter how many guys I fuck, my pussy still stays tight." Calling me daddy during sex with a picture of her dead father staring at me on the wall. Yeah, in all seriousness it was awful. It was actually a long-time girlfriend. She still wasn't over her father's death, somewhat recent, and it was actually the portrait from his funeral. She clearly wasn't calling me daddy for any messed up reason other than to be hot, but if I was to even mention to her why it bothered me she'd start bawling over just the subject of her dad being brought up. Truly, an awkward experience. That happened more than once. Just as I penetrated this girl during sex. Oh my God. I can feel it. I can feel your energy. It's filling the room. My thoughts? WTF am I getting myself into? I gotta get out of here. It was one of the most interesting sexual experiences of my life. Not bad. Just really interesting. She didn't really say it to me, but to the group of people I was with. One of my friends recently got jumped walking home from work, so she decided to console him by saying, "It's okay, I know exactly how you feel." He asks her if she's been mugged or something and she responds, "No, but I've been raped before," and then went into pretty extreme detail for the next 20 minutes. This was the first time any of us have ever met her, and while we sympathize, holy shit, that was the most uncomfortable I've ever been in my entire life. Bonus edit: the next time I saw her she was on the phone complaining to her friend about her boyfriend not putting out, so she decided the best way to solve that was to put a bunch of Viagra in his food and tie him up. You fucking chink, why the hell won't you pay attention to me? When I was 16 at a teen summer camp, this girl had a crush on me, but I was not into her at all. She got really frustrated one day and just went off on me and said the above remark to me. 2 years later, we're married with kids. Just fucking with you, I told her to go to hell and to never talk to me again. I had a girl in high school tell me that no one would date me because I am too much like a puppy, and no one wants to fuck a puppy, which would be hurtful and not that weird, except that she then followed it up with, but I fuck puppies. This is like the worst motivational speech my crew coach ever gave. For the first 1,000 meters you're going to just toy with them. Like a cat, meow. Just playing with the. And then with a 1,000 meters down, you rape the cat. But coach, I thought we were the cat. I was 27 at the time and I was out drinking and singing karaoke with some of my friends at the time. My turn comes up and I sing Chocolate Balls by Chef of South Park fame as suggested by my friend on a dare. Me having the same octave as Chef, I killed it and everyone in the bar burst out in laughter throughout the whole thing. I go and join my friends at the table, high-fiving through the gauntlet. While I'm pouring my next glass of beer, this chick taps me on the shoulder. I turn to face her and she's all of my yes. Redhead, thick glasses, cute face, curves in all the right places. I just light up like a Christmas tree just looking at her. I smile and ask, "What's up?" And I can tell she's had a few. She giggles and tells me that I want to fuck your voice. In the most nonchalant way of saying it. Like it's a normal, everyday interaction. I tile my head to the side and ask. Excuse me. What? She repeats herself, louder. I want to fuck the shit out of your voice, it's so manly and deep. As she clings to my arm. I'm awestruck. I'm used to women giving me compliments about my voice, but when you have someone wanting to do sexual things to it, it's rather jarring. Her blonde friend rushes over and pulls her away and apologizes. She's wired when she's drunk. Aren't we all sometimes? I say as they exit the bar. I never did see her again. In the 12th grade I managed to get one of the hotter girls in my grade to come over when my parents were out of town. Now naturally I was hoping to get it in. Anyways, we had been hanging out for about an hour when she said she was hungry, so I showed her the contents of my fridge. She got really excited that I had string cheese and then proceeded to sit on the kitchen floor and eat cheese. On the third cheese string I made a joke about something stupid and she laughed and let out the most earth-shaking fart I've ever heard in my life. It rippled with tremendous force on the kitchen floor tiles. I pretended not to hear it. That was awkward. We're married now. I've had a girl give me permission to masturbate while thinking of her. I didn't ask, nor need fucking permission. Yeah, there's consent forms and everything. Even my lawyer's there, with his consent of course. I bring a lawyer to every sexual intercourse session. But as he would be raping both of us without witnessed consent, he has to bring his own lawyer, who also needs another lawyer. Long story short, I can only have sex while 30 lawyers, the Supreme Court, and the President are in the room. Stop staring at me. This reminds me of some girl in grade school who was more worried about making me embarrassed than about her grades. If I glanced at her for a split second she'd tell me to stop staring at her, and one time I put glue on my hand so it could dry and I could peel it off and she said, "Ew, he has a booger." To make it worse, the teacher handed me a tissue. Fuck that bitch.